Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing another Artifact Remix draft. Without further ado, let's get into our Pack 1 Pick 1, just a slam dunk rare here. Thought Monitor is an incredible card. It's got affinity for artifacts, and in this format it is not very hard to have a lot of artifacts on board, so you can cast this for incredibly cheap, and you're going to be getting a 2/2 flyer and drawing 2 cards when it hits the battlefield, so it's a 3-for-1, providing you with a good evasive threat and 2 extra cards worth of card advantage. So exceptional card. As long as you can cast this thing for 5 mana or less, it's fine, and often you can cast it for much less than that. So really happy to start with a Thought Monitor. Pick number 2, we've got a Simian Simulacrum here, which is a really strong card, because you don't even have to be in green for this to be pretty powerful. A 3-mana 4/3 that's really easy to cast no matter what's going on with your mana. That is like the worst case scenario. Sometimes you could even use this to put +1/+1 counters on one of your flyers, or one of your other evasive threats or something. Yeah, that's just a really powerful, really flexible option. Again, it doesn't tie us to green, but it is stronger when you are in green and you can unearth it as well. Then the card goes from good to great. Pick number 3, we've got a Hard Evidence here, which is pretty awesome with the Thought Monitor. It's going to give us a 0/3 blocker and a clue token. The clue token, of course, an artifact permanence for any affinity or any sacrifice synergies, but it's also just a piece of card draw if we want it. I like Ornithopter Paradise as well. It's very flexible. It can fit into any deck, so it's a very open-ended pick, but I really want to be in blue with this Thought Monitor, so I'm going to head in that direction with this Hard Evidence. Pick number 4, Scrapwork Mutt's pretty solid. You don't need to be able to unearth it for the card to be decent, but again, if you can, then the card goes from decent to great. Just a really solid enter the battlefield effect to make sure you're hitting what you need, discarding lands when you don't need them, or discarding high mana value spells when you do need lands. Yeah, that's my favorite card in this pack. I think it's the most flexible for sure. Now for pick 5, it's a pretty late Tireless Provisioner. This is a really good landfall trigger, getting a food token or a treasure token every time you play a land. Those tokens can be used for tons of different things in the set. They can be used for affinity, they can be used like they're supposed to gain some life or ramp up some mana, but there's also plenty of ways to sacrifice them, or cards that trigger when they're hitting the board, like Salivating Gremlins. I like Tireless Provisioner a lot, but the main competition here is Scrapwork Cohort, another one of these excellent unearth cards that fits into any deck and just gets a little better when you have the mana to unearth it. Pick number 6 now, another Scrapwork Mutt. Looks pretty nice to me. Alternatively, Bloomhulk's really fun with a lot of stuff to proliferate. Right now we only have one card, the Simian Simulacrum, to put any counters on the board. But this can be really nice sometimes. Spider Food is also a lot better than it was in Wilds of Eldraine because there's just a million artifacts running around. So this just always is main deckable. There's always a target for it. But I'm going to go for the Scrapwork Mutt. Just some more ways to set up our draws. For pick 7, Wailing Pirates is a fine stunner. Galvanic Juggernaut's pretty nice for the sacrifice kind of decks. But I don't think we're likely doing that right now with blue and green being our main colors for now. Yeah, I'll just take the stunner here with the Waylaying Pirates. Pick 8, Hollow Scavenger looks perfectly reasonable. Get a food token and then a 3/2 that you can sack the food to make a 5/4 till end of turn, so just the threat of using that's pretty nice. Ovenwald Mysteries could be pretty cool. Whenever you sack a clue, get a 1/1. Clue tokens, there's more clue tokens in blue-green than any other color pair, but we only have one clue producer right now, so I don't know, we'll still take the Scavenger, I think. Pick 9, we wheel the other Tireless Provisioner. Let's go. Alright, well, this was definitely an Ulvenwald Mysteries draft pod because there's the Fleeting Memories as well. So we could be the full-on blue-green all-clue deck, but I think Tireless Provisioner is just so good, even without synergies and stuff, that I'm still going to take it over going all in on clues here. Alright, I'll take this Fleeting Memories. Oh my god, okay. Well, we could have been the triple Fleeting Memories deck, full-on mill deck. Alright, well, this will be interesting. I guess we're doing it. We're doing the clue thing, because now we've got a Lonus here. Whenever another non-token enters the battlefield under your control, you investigate. Non-token creature, that is. So that's going to help get a lot of clues. And then as we're getting enough clues, we can sacrifice them to rip stuff out of our opponent's deck, play against them. And I think, yeah, I was going to say, even if we sack the clues to Lonus's ability instead of the clues abilities, that will trigger fleeting memories as well. Try to do that as a mill win condition. All right, well, there is an alternate universe where we took Ulvenwald Mysteries into fleeting memories. And then had 3 fleeting memories in a row. And then we would be living the actual dream right now. But on the plus side, with the way the draft has been going, any more clue production is just going to wheel right back around to us anyway. There's a Thraben Inspector if we splash that in for a clue, but I think the best options here are going to be the blue-green dual land for fixing and mana ramp with our affinity rare, because it makes it cheaper. Or Metallic Rebuke's a pretty great counterspell. When you have clue tokens sitting around, this is basically a 1-mana counterspell, because you're not tapping the clue tokens for anything else. Might as well improvise them to help cast your Rebuke. So I think Rebuke would actually be an excellent counterspell in this deck. And Monoscellion's pretty good with other ways to put counters on it and decent otherwise, so that's an option too. I do really want the on-color duel with a Thought Monitor in the deck, so I'm just going to take that here. Pick 3. Double Fleeting Memories and Lonus kind of makes me want to take Erdwall Illuminator. It will probably wheel based on what happened in pack 1, but I want to kind of play it safe from here to make sure that we have a really synergistic, really fun deck no matter what happens. So I'm going to take the Illuminator and hope to wheel a Rebuke or a Secrets of the Key or something. Secrets of the Key probably wheels if we take Illuminator. Pick 4. Spyglass Siren's just the best value play for the mana cost. Could take a blue-white duel, because even if it's off-color to where we don't splash in any white, it still is just like a tap land that adds to our affinity, which can be fine if we really care about getting there for Thought Monitor, but I think we'll have enough clues and maps and stuff. I can just take the Siren. Pick 5, no clues here. Opportunist gives us a Power Stone to ramp into, Thought Monitor, and any abilities. The Power Stone can be used on clues, that's actually kind of cool. That might be better than Vorak, but Vorak's pretty good too. 3 mana 3/3 draws you a land when it hits the board. Otherwise, it proliferates. The proliferate doesn't matter for this deck, but drawing an extra land off your 3 mana 3/3 is still good. I think I'm going to go for Opportunist. I like the idea of being able to use the Power Stone mana to crack the clues. It's pretty real. Now, a Byway Courier is quite solid. Vault Scourge, I do want to mention, I've been passing up on a few of these. Important to note, this is not actually a black spell. You don't have to play black to run it. So keep that in mind. Treat this as like a colorless card. If you just want a 1-mana 1/1 flying lifelink, this does the job very well. So if you're a deck that has some good equipment, some good +1/+1 counters, anything like that, then keep your eye out for those Vault Scourges. You can just pay the 2 life to get it on the board, and it's going to gain that 2 life back pretty quickly anyway. Very easy Steel Seeker. It was one of the best cards in our opening pack, and I just didn't mention it because there were so many other options at the time. But as you're just putting artifact tokens on the board off of just playing lands off of Provisioner or off of playing any of our cards that investigate, you're now also tacking on some potential card draw with the Steel Seeker. Now a Spider Food. Pick 9. A Chrome Prowler can slow people down. That's probably okay. We got the Metallic Rebuke to come back. Pick 10. Pretty happy with that. And we got the Secrets of the Key or the Fierce Witchstalker, pick 11. I actually think we do not have a lot of top end right now, so I'm going to take the Witchstalker, even though Secrets hits a lot of synergy. I want to make sure I have some beef to not just get completely overrun in the late game. So I'm going to take that Witchstalker there. All right, pack 3, pick 1. Another Hard Evidence. Looks pretty perfect for the deck. We could splash it as Saheeli. She's pretty strong. And that would not be bad at all. We've got double Provisioner for treasure tokens to help get there. But I think I'll have more fun trying to go full clues here rather than splashiness. I'm going to get more clues with Hard Evidence. We went for some splashiness yesterday with our 3-color build. Had a lot of spice there. We're going to try to go full streamlined today. Pack 3, pick 2. Staunch Crewmate's a really good value play if you have enough artifacts in your deck. I don't think we actually do here. Got 6. You want like 10 or more cards that this will hit, so 10 plus artifacts or pirates. And we don't have like any pirates. Well, no, we have 2 pirates and 6 artifacts. Okay, so we have 8 cards that can hit. This might actually make it. I think it's better than our Chaos Mender. We don't have enough stuff going in the grave, and this would be our 3rd Hollow Scavenger, so I don't think it's necessary. Let's grab the crewmate. Try it out. Pack 3, pick 3. Mirror Enforcer's fine. I don't think we're doing incredible on affinity. Probably not good enough for Mirror Enforcer, but definitely enough for Thought Monitor. Let's get another Steel Seeker, I think. Some card selection, potential card draw. Ooh, another Erdwall Illuminator. If I take the hard evidence, which I probably should, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other cards get taken. We will not get this Illuminator back. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've only got 6 cards that investigate, so I'm only doubling 6 other cards in the deck. I think I need to up the investigate count. So I'm going to grab another hard evidence. If we're insanely lucky, we might wheel the other Illuminator. But an Illuminator with only 6 investigators, probably not insane. Another one of those cards we'd like to be at 10 plus to be great. Skull Bomb seems fine. Slow our opponent down because we don't really have any full-on removal. We've got like a spider food, that's about it. So let's use the bounce removal. Hamlet Glutton, there we go. That's a big way to stabilize. 6/6 that gains us 3 life when it hits the board. And it's a 5 mana 6/6 as long as we can sacrifice a random clue token or something we have sitting around. This looks like a pretty good Trail of Crumbs deck. We've got a decent amount of food, especially with the double Tireless Provisioner. These can pop off with that Trail of Crumbs. I'm going to take that over Courier. This is every time we sack a food, we also spend 1 extra mana to draw a permanent out of the top 2. Pretty nasty. Pick 8. Teething Wormlet's just insane in this format. It's really easy to have like 1 artifact hit the board each turn off of a food or a clue or anything like that. So you can gain a life every turn and get a counter on this every turn. So I think I have to take it over Courier, despite the clue synergy. Here's another Hollow Scavenger and another Hollow Scavenger. So we are really hitting the food synergies. And then we'll grab 1 Epic Confrontation because we are very low on removal. And another Fierce Witchstalker for food. Okay, well, we don't have a ton of massive creatures to normally close out the game with combat, but now we have a couple Witchstalkers and a Glutton. So sometimes we can win the game through combat regularly, but for the most part, we're probably just randomly milling a few people out with Fleeting Memories with all the clues we'll have, so should be interesting here. We get to cut 13 cards, which is pretty wild. I might cut some of the artifacts like the Scrapwork Mutts, in which case we cut the Crewmate as well. Spider Food is one of our only pieces of interaction. So I think we have to run it, even though it's not the most flexible card ever. Servant doesn't really hit any synergies. Nor does the Argothian Sprite. Got a lot of 3 mana stuff. We gotta make room for something here, so let's probably drop the Chrome Prowler for the lack of synergy. Opportunist still gives us the Power Stone to use our clues and our foods and stuff, which is, I think, valuable. So if I drop all this, I still need to cut a lot. 7 more cards. Yeah, I guess we drop some of the mid-range here. I'm dropping a little bit on the Investigate again, dropping a Courier, though. You gotta make some room. Gotta do what you gotta do. 43 cards now. Still 3 to cut. Well, I mean, I guess at that point we just drop Opportunist. Even though it can crack clues. Only 2 more to cut after that. Maybe we'll go all like no interaction. Dropping the Skull Bomb here. I have a Spider Food, a Rebuke, and a Confrontation for interaction. That's definitely going to be the flaw of the deck. So for clues, we have Cryptozoologist, so any creature we play is giving us a clue. 3 hard evidence, 2 fleeting memories. 3, 4, 5, 6 cards making clues. The really important one being the cryptozoologist because it makes a lot of them. Will we actually drop an illuminator? I don't think so. Because this is just so bonkers with cryptozoologist if we're lucky. How are we doing on food for the Trail of Crumbs? So the Trail of Crumbs just immediately comes with a food, so it's going to be decent up front no matter what. And then we have 2 Scavenger, 2 Witch Stalker. Oh, and the double Provisioner can make like infinite food. I actually think because we have double Provisioner, making so many food to pop off with Trail of Crumbs, we don't need too many other cards doing the food stuff. So I think we could drop like 1 Witch Stalker. I think Scavenger for the efficiency probably goes a little better than Witch Stalker. I don't know. These are pretty comparable. They're both really nice little wolves that make the food. I don't actually know which is better, but I feel like we cut one of these 4 cards. I'll just drop one of the 3 drops. Keep some higher mana value stuff, and we will call it a deck here. All right, here we have a look at the final deck list for today. We're on a blue-green clue and food deck. So we are just grinding out a ton of value off of these little artifact tokens. Food to gain us a bunch of life and keep us alive. Treasure tokens to ramp us up. There we go. As well as a ton of clue tokens to stay ahead in card advantage. And they also give us an alternate win condition with 2 copies of Fleeting Memories. We can try to mill our opponent out as we are sacrificing our clues. Alternatively, as we're sacrificing our food tokens, we could draw a bunch of cards off of Trail of Crumbs, or if we get enough clue tokens, we can sacrifice them to Cryptozoologist here to play some cards out of our opponent's deck against them, which is pretty spicy. There's a lot of really neat ways to use our food tokens and our clue tokens in this deck, not just with the cards that specifically care about clues and specifically care about food, but a lot of cards that care about just any artifact entering the battlefield. So we're triggering our Teething Wormlet, getting +1/+1 counters on this pretty often, triggering our Steel Seeker, getting to surveil one or draw a card pretty often. We've got some great alternative synergies for all these tokens, as well as just having a lot of artifacts on board to play a Thought Monitor as a super cheap value play. So it looks like a pretty sweet deck, pretty spicy one. We'll see how it plays out, though, as we head into the gameplay. All right, here we are for game 1, and we've got a plan. We've got a plan here. Got a clue on turn 1. We've got a cryptozoologist, so that every other creature we play comes with a clue. And we've got another clue on turn 3, and every time we crack a clue, we're milling our opponent 3 cards. This is some spicy synergies to roll out here. Perfectly happy to play Hard Evidence turn 1, because Cryptozoologist only investigates on non-token creatures anyway, so there's no point in holding off on it. Maybe if I had the Erdwall Illuminator in hand that doubles my investigate, it could be worth it, but I don't think so here. So here's Cryptozoologist if they do not kill her immediately. There's Contagious Vorak, turn 3 from our opponent, so no removal yet. They're on green-black food with a Tough Cookie turn 2, one of the best plays for that deck. Let's actually go Steel Seeker over Fleeting Memories right now. I want to have cards that impact the board since our opponent is going pretty crazy. Keeping that Witch Stalker, that's definitely the play next turn. So how does this work? Sack 2 clues, they reveal the top 2 cards, put an online permanent mana value 2 or less onto my battlefield. That's not quite worth it. I mean, I can mill them 6 when I do it, which is cool. Well, not yet. If I Fleeting Memories, I'd be milling them 6 off of that. Well, whenever we do it, we want to trigger Fleeting Memories and Cryptozoologist, ideally. So I probably want to do it for like 4, or just wait. Alright, fair enough. Annihilating Glare is super fine with me, especially if they actually lose a creature here instead of a food. I guess because the food are all technically sort of 4/4s later. But they gotta spend a bunch of mana every time they activate those, so that is super fine with me. Alright, now we play the big sturdy blocker with Fierce Witch Stalker. Find a Hamlet Glutton? Well, there's another sturdy blocker. And that's going to bargain away a food. There's our Gothian Opportunist. That's another non-creature artifact to activate with the Tough Cookie. Again, they need a lot of mana to do that more than one time per turn. But they can get there. Still got established blockers here. They're getting a scary board. But now, next turn, we probably have enough breathing room to start cracking clues and milling them. Alright, pass the turn. And there's a Thought Monitor. That'd be fine. Yeah, I can still expand the board a little. Draw 2 cards immediately instead of just 1 this turn. Don't get any mill going yet, but I think this is solid. Reveal a land to draw that. Yep. Get to draw 3 this turn. Seems good, seems good. Well, that worked out perfectly, because now, if they don't kill the Illuminator, I actually get to investigate twice when I cast the Fleeting Memories. We are in Value Town over here. Like, they've got a Tough Cookie with 3 things to animate to it, and I feel like we're still in the lead, which is a nice position to be in. That is not usually the case. Alright. So here's the Fleeting Memories. Get 2 clue tokens this turn. Trigger Steel Seeker. Keep the hard evidence. That's 2 clues. Alright. Let's draw into that thing. Mill our opponent 3. We've got 26 cards right now, down to 23. I'm gonna go for mana efficiency here and crack another clue rather than cast hard evidence right now, because also if I cast hard evidence right now, then... You know what? Let's just be defensive. Let's go full mill plan here. I could hit them for 3, but I could also just fully rely on mill. And just really make sure nothing's coming through. What I was going to say is also if I cast hard evidence last turn, we only get 1 clue off of it, because this only doubles the first investigation. Oh my god. Oh my god. Draw another hard evidence. Sure. Again, not going to cast it right now. I think our board state is more than good enough to already just block everything, so let's just sit here and mill. Unless I draw like a really good 2-mana play. I could play Hollow Scavenger, but again, we're already in the lead on board, so let's not like overextend into a board wipe or something. There could be like a Massacre Worm in this set. I don't know. I haven't looked over the full reprint list because there's so many cards. So I don't know the rares and mythics too well. I doubt they put like Meat Hook Massacre in here or anything. They could have put that Black Saga in that destroys like all non-artifact creatures or something. That would make a little bit of sense. They're down to 12 cards now. Here's another double instigate because we're just hopping off. Steel Seeker doing its thing too. Trail of Crumbs, sure, I'll keep it. And that can dig pretty well for some stuff. I do gotta make sure I don't draw too many cards to actually outpace the mill I'm doing. That would be pretty bad. So probably never milling ourselves with Steel Seeker, just keep it on top if it's not a land. Okay, yeah, we're not we're not milling out before them. We're actually milling them out right now. That's already just the deck is gone. And that was 1 copy of Fleeting Memories. Could you imagine if we get 2 on board in a game? That's the full mill kill for game 1 of this draft. Wow. All right, incredible stuff from our deck there, because We got so many clue tokens that we were so far ahead in card advantage that we honestly probably didn't even need to be going for the mill. That was just the cooler way to win for sure. I don't know. We probably actually did though, right? Because if they had the mana, yeah, they have the mana to turn these indestructible bridges into 4/4 blockers, so we could keep hitting for 3 a turn and eventually get there in the sky. But they've got enough artifacts on board and mana to go like indestructible 4/4, indestructible 4/4, have 2 of those up as blockers, which makes our ground attacks pretty bad. Even with Glutton, Glutton ends up trading down into like a 3/2 because they can block it with a 4/4 indestructible and a 3/2, even if they didn't have enough mana to animate both of these lands. So yeah, we could have been chipping it in the sky that whole time, but then we still would have milled them before combat damage. The tough cookie indestructible land combo there, I didn't even notice, so I'm glad I didn't try to get in some attacks, but now that I see that, that's pretty threatening. Pretty threatening on blocks, but luckily, we have plenty of good defenses up to just sit here and mill them with the clues. We get a full-on mill win for game 1 of this draft. Here we are on the play for game number 2. I'm going to keep it. It's got some issues with the mana, obviously. But if we hit any lands, our Tireless Provisioner is going to be giving us treasure tokens we can use to cast our blue spells. And having a Teething Wormlet with a Tireless Provisioner on board is incredible, because that means the Provisioner land falls, we get a treasure token, and the treasure token means the Wormlet gets bigger too. We gain a life as well. So Provisioner plus Wormlet combo is pretty beautiful here. So we're going to set that up. And if we don't draw land next turn, I can use Trail of Crumbs. We sack the food and pay the additional mana to look in the top 2, take a land out of the top 2, and play that land for turn. Okay, didn't hit a land, so we do this. Trail of Crumbs into the land. If there's no land in the top 2, at least we put them on the bottom and got 2 cards closer. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, we'd be in a way worse position if we didn't Trail of Crumbs, then it'd be taking at least 3 turns to draw into the land anyway. That is an aggressive attack. Maybe they've got some solid removal here? Oh, or they just have the beefy blocker. That works too. Wow, alright. Well, the mana's really far away from us then. Oh, boy. I don't think we spider food anything. I mean, if I do, Wormlet's a 3/3, that's something, but I can only spider food their food token anyway. Yeah, we have to just pass. This is not looking good. Again, I think this keep was reasonable because we've seen like 4 cards right now. None of our top 4 have been lands. Maybe even 5 cards, right? Because we drew a card, and we dug 2 cards deep with Trail Crumbs. So we've seen 4 or 5 cards in a row that were not lands. Because all 3 of these were in the opener, I believe. Maybe just 2 of them are in the opener. Oh, this is unfortunate. Yikes. Alright, well, we do get the treasure here to cast one of the blue spells. So we can cast Witch Stalker and Siren in the same turn as the most defensive play. Yeah, I think we kind of have to go full defense here. Unfortunately, Wormlet only gets a counter on the first artifact each turn, so we don't get to have a 5/5 Wormlet on blocks. But we gain some life, set up some better blocks. When does this have Death Touch? If we have 3 or more artifacts, we need another artifact to Death Touch trade up into the 5/5 or something. Okay. 5 mana removal is fine. Not great for us. Yeah, our blocks are pretty poor. Give up on the Wormlet here. It's 12 damage. What does this do? 2 mana for artifacts only. Probably not going to spider food that or anything. Get a 4/4 Wormlet next turn off of basically anything. We'll let it in. Blue source is perfect. Okay. So we have 6 mana available, but nothing to do for 6 mana specifically. We're just going to be spending 5 mana anyway, so we may as well get the food from Provisioner instead of the treasure here. Right? And then we play Cryptozoologist plus Spider Food? I guess the only way to play 2 blockers this turn is to play Cryptozoologist Illuminator, which has to be using a treasure right now. Yeah, sure. Now I've got the Death Toucher. We get 2 clue tokens, gain 2 life off of the Illuminator. Okay, 2 mana up, I can crack a clue to draw a card. I can gain 3 from a food, or I can use a map. The map would be sorcery speed. Being able to have a 2/2 up would be a pretty big deal here. I think we might be on map token, hoping to make Siren a 2/2. Please not a land on top. Okay, and Thought Monitor is a good draw. Okay, we are certainly real far on the back foot, having to wait for these lands, but might be getting close to stable. They're down to 2 cards in hand. Okay. Oh, really? Well, that's a blowout. Can't really do anything about that. Well, I think if they just had like another creature or 2 to play there or something, we actually would be able to start turning things around from there, because we have enough creatures at that point, enough power on board to trade into a few of those things, especially with the Death Touch to clear out the Witch Stalker. So we could like clear out 2 of those things, get a chomp in, then we're about to draw into a Thought Monitor, which will be really nice. Yeah, I mean, I think we might have been around to turn the corner without the board wipe, but get demolished by the board wipe. We are 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, much better mana this game. Now we are 100% certain there will be no mana problems. Yeah, maybe I should have actually went for the tap land turn 1 rather than using it for a counter on the Wormlet. But I want to make a beefy Wormlet here. Could Simulacrum up the Wormlet. But they're blue-black. They probably have something that can just destroy it pretty soon. Yeah, let's just skip attacks for a turn. Again, Cryptozoologist doesn't trigger off of token creatures, so it doesn't matter how we sequence those. But anyways, the big benefit to playing the tap land turn 1 would have been getting the Cryptozoologist down before the Wormlet, so that we get 1 more clue in the whole deal. But I wanted to be able to just start attacking in with the Wormlet, 2 damage turn 2, 3 damage turn 3, but the Perilous Mirror did stop that in its tracks a little bit. We gotta wait 1 more turn to make the Wormlet big enough to attack into that. If they can't sacrifice their Perilous Mirror to kill Lonus, then next turn we get to Simulacrum to make Cryptozoologist too big to die to the mirror. And Wormlet will naturally be too big, but there's super efficient removal from our opponents. And there goes the Wormlet. At least the Cryptozoologist is still around. Which means we can Simulacrum buff Cryptozoologist. Make sure they don't die to the Perilous Mirror. So we can keep getting more clues every time we play anything, and make sure that we have the card advantage lead in the late game. Thought Monitor is only 2 mana now, by the way, which is pretty awesome. Alright, pass turn from our opponent. There's Erdwall Illuminator. That'll make Thought Monitor cost 1. I don't have enough mana to play around the counterspell right now. Either card I cast can get Metallic Rebuked, which is unfortunate. If one of these was cheap enough to play around Metallic Rebuke, I'd go for it against a blue-black deck. That looks like probably no Metallic Rebuke, because I don't think they would be cool with me playing a 1/3 flyer and getting 2 clues. So we're pretty sure they don't have the counter, so we're going to drop the Thought Monitor too. Okay, interesting play from our opponent. I guess it works out fine for them. Works out fine for us too, though, because we still basically drew 2 cards. It just takes longer to draw those cards. Because I think it's better to just straight up draw a bunch of cards off these clues than it is to crack them all to try to get 1 card out of our opponent's deck. Yeah, we can only put 1 card from their deck on our board after cracking the Cryptozoologist. It just doesn't feel worth it. I suppose we could have been attacking Simulacrum for a couple turns now, actually looking at this board state. Well, Provisioner is pretty nice in the future, but it doesn't do anything until we have another land anyway, so probably just playing Hollow Scavenger for now. It's 2 clues off Illuminator, if nothing else. I guess at some point, if we play enough creatures and keep triggering Lonus with Erdwall Illuminator on board, we'll just have an embarrassment of riches with these clue tokens anyway. At which point, we might as well start cracking them. If, like, there's more than we're realistically going to spend. I should have sent it for 1 in the sky as well. We're playing sloppy. Missed out on 1 point of damage here. They want to trade their 2 damage for my food. They got it. Yeah, we don't need this food. Because I've got Provisioner coming up to give Scavenger an infinite supply. Essence Extraction? Okay, I don't have anything that I was holding up that mana to counter with anyway, so that's fine. There's Archaeomender. Alright, that's not bad. Perilous Mirror. It's the only card they can pick up. Slightly annoying, but fine. The really annoying thing is that it's going to be able to kill Provisioner if it ever gets in combat. 6 clues here. Got 2 more ways to get clues right now. Let's Zoologist for 4. I feel like that's a solid average number there. They had a 7 drop in all lands. Well, Cryptozoologist does look pretty bad for the blue-black matchup. I could Provisioner first so that when I Simulacrum, I'm putting counters on Provisioner to get it out of reach of Perilous Mirror, if they don't immediately sack the mirror. I don't hate that. Since alternatively I Simulacrum first and we just try to get them to pop the mirror before we play Provisioner. They have to double block to kill Scavenger, in which case I kill both their creatures. It's pretty fine. No blocks. Cool. Let's start just drawing some cards off these clues. Because again, if I sack 4 clues and get nothing instead of drawing 4 cards off of those 4 clues, This is what I was saying about maybe it's probably unlimited, just better to keep sacrificing them most of the time. And just get ahead in cards. Especially if we get this fleeting memories to resolve. I guess we play the land first to play around another Metallic Rebuke from our opponent. So let's do that. Well, I kind of have to Simulacrum first before I fleeting memories. Yeah. Spend the turn on Simulacrum, getting Provisioner out of reach. We'll have to fleeting memories next turn then. Go for Lonus and fleeting memories mill again. Alright, this is fine. Simulacrum dies anyway very soon. If Provisioner sticks around, we're gonna have so many food tokens, I might as well just cash in damage off of them every time. Getting a food every time we play a land. Scavenger should be well fed this game. We've got the kibbles and the bits. Oh, their own Thought Monitor. That is nice value. Also, means they're 2 cards closer to milling out, but they don't know we're trying to do that yet. All right, baby, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 mana for this. Crack 2 clues in this turn. If I get a treasure, that's still only cracking 2 clues right now, so we get a food. And crack 2 clues. Ooh, another Tireless Provisioner? It's kind of sweet. And there's the land to go with it. We can get 2 food token every time we play a land. And we're drawing cards off these clues enough that we'll probably have a land almost every turn. Scry 2 to the bottom. They have 16 cards left. So we need to crack 5 more clues to win. To win, like, immediately, basically. If the game goes longer, they'll have more draw steps, and we won't have to crack as many clues. Like, maybe cracking 4 clues and milling 12 kills them in 4 or 5 turns. Another Perilous Mirror, Mirror Enforcer. Alright, they're getting a big board state to start threatening to push in for damage. The Thought Monitor gets that started. But they're going to have to work their way through double Provisioner amounts of food. Okay, they're just done. They are over it. They don't want to get mill grinded out by this monstrosity of a deck. And we are now 2-1, heading into game number 4. Here we are for game 4. Hard Evidence into Trail of Crumbs into Fleeting Memories. That's a curve to me. Super reasonable curve. Renegade Map, turn 1 from our opponent, which can set up some nice mana fixing. Ooh, we could turn 3 Simian Simulacrum instead. I'm tempted just to start beating down with a crab token. I mean, come on. Can you really resist? Bone Splitter from our opponent. Yeah, if I put the counters on the Simulacrum, it's still only going to have 3 toughness, which trades even into a 1-1 that's equipped with a Bone Splitter. The 1-1 with a Bone Splitter is a 3-1 to trade up into it, so I'm going to put the counters on the crab. I think we should Simulacrum over Fleeting Memories basically no matter what. You want to commit power and toughness to the board first before you start dirtling around with cracking a bunch of clues and all that. But I don't know. With no information about what our opponent has, I don't know if we're supposed to put the counters on the crab. Now that we see Bone Splitter, I think 100%. Counters on the crab actually is just where it's at here. It's also hilarious. Speaking of things that are hilarious, our opponent's on a green-white counters deck, and the Ozolith is scary good, maybe even hilariously good. Moves all of the counters on anything that dies onto the Ozolith, then they can move them back around. So if they play like a 2-mana 2/2, or sorry, a 2-mana 0/0 that comes with 2+1/+1 counters, and then it dies. Now the Ozolith has 2 counters, so the next creature they play comes with 2 counters. Like, it's a super threatening card. Well, I'm happy to have a 2/5 against this 4/3, but that does stop us in our tracks. We could draw a card off Trail of Crumbs here, or we can just set up the Fleeting Memories. Let's just set up the memories here and get another crab. We are turtling up, or I guess more accurately, we're crabbing up. It's a crab rave over here. Obama is over party. That was the initial crab rave, right? I don't remember at this point. I know that was one of them. No blocks. Well, we're drawing some cards, seeing what we hit. Teething Wormlet. That's nice. I can draw another card and play the Wormlet, so sure. Let's actually play the Wormlet first and draw the other card in their end step so that we have enough artifacts on board, even if they like kill the Simulacrum, for Wormlet to be Death Touch here. So we just Death Touch block the 4/3 at this point. Although we are likely enough to play more artifacts, it might be better to just leave it around. Okay, well that works. That makes the choice for us. That is fine by me. Alright, so we take another 4. Because with Ozolith, they're definitely a +1/+1 counter deck, so the crab can probably chump block more than 5 damage on a later turn. Because I think Glorifier is going to get bigger. Again, by more proliferation, or just straight up put +1/+1 counters on target creature or something like that. Alright, so we're down to 21 cards. Fierce Witchstalker is a good draw. It's going to force them to make the Glorifier even bigger here. Don't think we're trying to outrace them with combat damage, so I'm going to make sure I've got enough power to kill this Glorifier, even if they buff it a little bit, and go for the double block. Alright, the main combat trick I could think of, never mind. Doesn't matter, they don't attack. Say if they attack in, the main combat trick I could think of for a green-white +1/+1 counter deck would be the green one. That puts a +1/+1 counter on the creature, but that one also gives the creature indestructible and trample and hexproof. So if they send in there, I don't think I would want to block outside of like the crab chump, because of the chance of it being that hexproof counter trick. That would just be really bad for me. Have I played a land for turn? Dang it, I have. So I can't get the food from Scavenger and still play the Scavenger. So is Trail of Crumbs in the end step here, or do I map token and get a food? Let's just Trail of Crumbs in the end step. Do it again. Do the first trail in the main phase so we can see if we draw into something good to play, which we did. Well, Siren. Ooh, Cryptozoologist. Well, I'm a little happy I didn't get to play my next creature, because now we get more clues for our Fleeting Memories. They're down to 16 cards. I've even got a spider food now to deal with the Ozolith if push comes to shove. Again, much like our first win, we could be being a lot more aggressive, but we don't need to with the Fleeting Memories on board. We've had several turns we could attack with the Witchstalker, but I'm just going to keep it on blocks. Simulacrum has a great unearth effect, so I'm just going to double block. Well, no, if it is the trick, it is probably the indestructible one. We'll just do the one creature here. Okay, it is no trick. They just want to move the counters to the Ozolith and move them to the Brawler. Ooh, that triggers when counters are put on non-creature permanents? That's so weird. Yeah, it does. When one or more +1/+1 counters are put on another permanent you control, not necessarily a creature. Surprising, I didn't think that putting counters on the Ozolith was gonna trigger Brawler, but it does. Alright, this one's the clue. This is the one issue with the deck. We gotta look through all the tokens and be like, which one is which? What's going on? Where am I? Oh, we milled their Angel of Invention. That was our, like, biggest bomb in our last deck. That's gotta feel bad for our opponent. Oh, that's staying right there. I'm gonna draw that. Well, no. If I draw it right now, it's because I cracked a clue when that clue could mill 6 next turn. So let's wait till next turn and have that clue mill 6. Our opponent is completely over it, which is fair. When things get going, they do not stop. I mean, we're even at the point where actually we can sack a food and trigger Trail of Crumbs and put this permanent in our hand, that permanent being the second copy of Fleeting Memories. Disgusting stuff. It just seems so nasty every time we win with this deck. We are 3-1 now, I think. Pretty much exclusively off Fleeting Memories mill nonsense. And our only loss was to the board wipe after we were stuck on mana for quite some time. I think even that game there was a chance of turning things around and stabilizing if it weren't for the board wipe. I am loving this deck, and whatever happens from here, we're at least a 50-50 record. Solid stuff as we head into round 5. All right, Trail of Crumbs into the Provisioner for a bunch of food to go with the trail. Seems good to me. I think I do want to play Provisioner before Simulacrum. I do like putting Simulacrum's counters on a different creature than the Simulacrum itself, usually. Ooh, if we had Vault Scourge in here, that's a super good target for Simulacrum. I can actually play Provisioner and hold up Rebuke in the same turn. Or Simulacrum hold up Rebuke in the same turn later. You know, I guess the one thing that is slightly leaning me towards Simulacrum over Provisioner here is if I play Provisioner now and they kill it immediately, I got 0 value out of it. And with Trail of Crumbs on board, the value of a single food token is pretty high. So I'm actually going to Simulacrum first. Oh, and they're just gonna... Nope, never mind. I was gonna say, and they're just gonna Rebuke. I just realized, again, Metallic Rebuke, deceptively good in this format. I did not even consider that they could have a counterspell there because they had a single blue up, but because of the Blood Fountain, they had a single blue and 2 to improvise towards a Metallic Rebuke if they have one. Let's just send in the Simulacrum for 4 and see if that gets them to use removal here. Maybe tap out of the blue. Alright, well... If they have Rebuke, we get got. We'd have to wait till 6 mana, play around it. They do not have Rebuke. Let's go. They have Candy Grapple, fair enough. We still get the 1 trigger no matter what, because they can't respond to us playing a land there. Which is why I do like the Provisioner turn 4 here. I can hold up my Rebuke or play a Hard Evidence. 0/3 Crab doesn't do anything right now. Their only creature is flying, so I'm going to hold off on Hard Evidence to hold up our counter. And it doesn't even look like we're holding up a counter. Okay, yeah, the 5/5 trample gets countered. First time it attacks, it's a 5/5 trample. Second time, it's a 6/6 trample. Third time, 7/7, and so on. Untethered Express, very threatening card. Okay. I can look for permanent and still have a blue up for Hard Evidence here and play a tap land in the same turn. Well, I mean, we draw one of these. Might as well. We got them out of the way. Might Stone, Weak Stone, kill the Simulacrum. We unearth it and make a big crab. Sure. Ooh, and they also get to use the man on the Perilous Mirror. Very good stuff. And there are still more lands for us, sadly. It's 2-5 crab time. 2-5 crab time. Let's go, team. Do 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 do. I'm pretty happy with that trade. Since our 2-1 was going to get exiled anyway. I guess it's just the chump shoot me in the face. Fair enough. We're definitely not sacking the food in their end step, because we already have a permanent on board that lets us draw a card every time we sack a food. We might crack the clue, because we don't know when we're going to draw one of our 2 fleeting memories. There would be an argument for holding on to it, because obviously if we do hit a fleeting memories, it is doing more to sack it later, but I think with just 2 lands in hand, we need to find some immediate action, so I'm going to crack it. Oh dear. Find me something. Trail of Crumbs. Quick draw off the top. Give me something good. Okay. Well, here we are. Do we know what the order of the bottom cards is? Yes, there's Force and Epic Confrontation. Well, we should hit some spells pretty soon. So there's that. We're not really under any life total pressure. Got a Blood Fountain they can pick up 1 Perilous Mirror with. Okay, well now we're under pressure. Get a clue token every single turn. That's some extra card draw for cheap. I have exactly not enough mana to play around Metallic Rebuke being the last card in their hand. And I could wait a whole turn. I don't think that's worth it. Well, Provisioner with Trail of Crumbs is big. That's a card draw engine. So we've got our own Tamiyo's Journal amalgamation going on. Just requires several different uncommons for us to build into our Tamiyo's Journal. No, Bone Splitter Vault Scourge is nasty. 3 power lifelink swing every turn. Help them race here. If I trade Thought Monitor to the Vault Scourge, they just Blood Fountain it back alongside the Perilous Mirror anyway, so we just race them rather than trading here. Oh, Lonus is a great draw. Lonus is a beautiful draw. Now we can Lonus before Provisioner. The order is we go Lonus, then Provisioner, then play the land to get maximum value. We've got the 3 mana up the whole time if they have Metallic Rebuke. There we go. Yeah, these, just a few draws in sequence immediately turn into a ton of draws from here, so we're very happy with these last couple turns. They've got the bacon to the pie for the Provisioner, but now they're just playing off the top. They've got the Journal to draw another card every turn, but hopefully Cryptozoologist can do similar things. I could hit a 1-mana permanence. Do I have any 1-mana permanents left in the deck? Wormlets and Siren are both still in there. Yeah, so we have a single green mana permanent and a single blue mana permanent. Let's go for it. Okay, Witchstalker's still a good draw. That's a 4/4 trample and draw another card off Trail of Crumbs. Eat your heart out, Hansel and Gretel. I am secretly the one who eats all of the crumbs. I'm like Homer Simpson following the donut crumbs everywhere. I haven't had donuts in so long now. I want donuts bad. Why have I done this to myself? Now we have to outrace a 5/1 lifelinker. I mean, we have an infuriating amount of food for our opponent, so at least there's that. Like, maybe we could do it, because just the absurd amount of food we have. Both of our fleeting memories are permanent, so we could draw either off of Trail of Crumbs, which would be nasty. Well, Steel Seeker is pretty nasty, especially with Lonus on board. We're assembling the Rube Goldberg machine again. It's time to knock down all the dominoes till they turn into a big spicy spiral shape. Unless you don't like spirals. Unless I just triggered a deep fear within you. Uzumaki style. Hard evidence. I will keep that. Then I'll play Siren and keep it again. Cool. Poke. Probably going to let them get their Vault Scourge value at this point to preserve our life total. Trade our 1/1 flyer into the Vault Scourge. They can Blood Fountain it back, replay it, put all the equipment on it again. And they do draw another card when it dies because of this Transmigrant's Crown thing. But at this point, we have so many clue tokens, I'm more worried about my life total than card advantage here. So I'm going to let them have some card advantage. Go for it. Draw a card, pick up your Vault Scourge again, put everything back on it, be able to draw another card again later. You got it. I'm actually kind of happy if they keep drawing cards, because again, there's 2 fleeting memories somewhere in here, and those would mill our opponent real fast. In fact, if I play one, I can just Lonus and sack all 5 clues at once. To just mill their whole deck immediately. That is actually incredible. That would be an awesome way to end this game. So I've got no way to have a food here. Let's hard evidence and see what Steel Seeker hits before we do anything else, right? And then that'll decide if I do want to crack a clue right now. But I probably do want to just naturally crack some clues. It's another hard evidence. I believe I keep that. Might as well get another crab when I'm sacking clues. And then by playing this, we get to see our next card off Steel Seeker again and know what's coming up. It's a forest, so we draw it. Let's see what's next thanks to the map token now. Buff a crab here. They've already got a 5/3 on blocks. With all this equipment running around, it doesn't matter really how big things go. Illuminator? Sure. Well, we can definitely afford to sack clues if we have Illuminator coming up alongside Cryptozoologist. So we'll sack the clue. In fact, I'll just sack a clue again. There's the fleeting memories. Okay. But now we've only got 4 clues on board. Once I play the fleeting memories, I'll have a 5th. Another Steel Seeker? Sure. That'll be a 6th if Cryptozoologist is still around, a 7th if Cryptozoologist and Illuminator are still around. They're just gonna... Their whole deck's gone next turn. Their entire deck is gone next turn if they don't kill Cryptozoologist. And even if they do kill Cryptozoologist, we're gonna mill like half their deck and then the rest the turn after. So let's see if it's combo kill time. I can't believe this is a draft still. This is goofy. This is Donald and Mickey, and this is the whole gang. The gang's all here. Again, the main counterspell in this format is counter unless you pay 3, so that's not going to stop the fleeting memories. There's the Vault Scourge. They're blue-black, so they can't, like, destroy the fleeting memories before I do anything. Because they can't blow up enchantments in that color pair. I'm pretty sure it's time to mill the whole deck. 15 cards? That's crack 5 clues to Lonus. And mill it all. Sweet Tooth Witch, they're tapped out too? Yes. Yes. Let's go. Alright, here we go. Here's Steel Seeker, get 2 clues. Woo! Million Steel Seeker triggers for fun. Let's mill our whole deck first. Let's out-mill them. No. Here we go. Fleeting Memories. 4, 5, 6, 7 clues. That's mill 21 cards. They only have 15. No, they don't even let us do it. Alright, well, we essentially did it. The trigger's on the stack. Well, that was disgusting. Yet another mill victory. I thought, like, some games we would maybe beat down with a Witch Stalker or a Thought Monitor or something, but winning exclusively off mill has been just wild. The Steel Seeker, Trail of Crumbs, Lonus, kind of just perpetual card advantage engines we've had going on. Provisioner plus Trail of Crumbs. It's been wild, an absolutely wild draft so far. We are officially at a positive win rate with this deck at 4-1, but we'll see how far we can take it as we head into round 6. Well, this is a great curve. Well, I mean, the cards are all powerful, but the fact that it's only one creature in the first 3 turns isn't actually that great for early, but these are really strong cards to have lying around. Oh, that's infuriating. We let them draw an extra card. Turn 2 and turn 3, or we play off curve. These cards grind out a lot of value throughout the game. They don't need to be immediately cast for good value, so... Alright, let's play off curve. There is always the argument that if I do let them draw a card off of each of these, then they're going to mill a little bit faster, but that also means they're going to have more gas to just kill us really quick before we set up creatures and everything, so let's play off curve. Let's just play off curve. I could hold the Siren back on blocks and then they just don't attack if I want to just stop the damage, but I think with food tokens, with Trail of Crumbs and a Witch Stalker, we'll trade some blows here for a little bit. They're green-white, so they're going to have more ways to just blow up our Trail of Crumbs than anybody else, and I'd be pretty sad about it. Uh-oh. They've got their own Tireless Provisioner, just value engine set up here, and we do not have a lot of removal, so if our opponent was playing the same kind of deck as us, we would have some massive issues. And Provisioner makes things start to look that way. So I'm a little scared. They're going to go for the treasure to dump their hand out a little quicker. And there's Captured by Lagax. That card has been nasty. Anything remotely aggressive just gets so far ahead so fast from that. 3 mana to remove your opponent's best blocker and add 2 power and toughness to your board. Well, there's the Provisioner Trail of Crumbs combo, but we're already down to 12. I don't know how far it's going to go here, really. I guess we've got 3 food tokens to eat, but we may be in a position here where we're going to have to trade Provisioner off into their Provisioner. The Captured by Lagax, actually, it's kind of like a cheaper version of the 4-mana removal from Wilds of Eldraine, which like shoots a creature, gets a young hero roll on your board. That card was super nasty. Yeah, I think we have to take the trade here. Oh, if they've got Gaia's Gift, the game's over. We can move on. Yeah. Alright. They had the gift too. Down to 7. Down to 7, I'm even at the point I have to crack a food for no value. Like, we still get the life gain, we just don't get the permanent off of it. I'm just low enough on life, we need to be at a higher life total. We don't have enough mana to sack all 3 foods quickly enough. Uh, do I play Steel Seeker instead of sacking a food? It doesn't block anything well. All it does is trump a 5/4. I don't think I do. Could have set up the double fleeting memories too this game. But we don't have the time to do that. Just too much damage here. Would have been so sweet. Ooh, Vorak, Proliferate onto the Sentinel and Provisioner. Costs 3 extra mana to cast non-creature spells now, or we let them draw a card. That is very spicy. 13 damage on board if they kill my Spyglass Siren. Oh boy. I'm surprised they didn't play that pre-Vorak, but I guess it makes sense if they just want the wide board state. Like 2 blockers right now. Oh, we might as well Steel Seeker first. Well, now we are probably dead, right? Block the 2 biggest creatures, take 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Dead on board. Just got firmly aggroed out by some green-white +1/+1 counters and stuff. And this is the flaw with a bunch of, you know, dirtle around card advantage enchantments and stuff. If your opponent does get a very nice, very aggressive start, you can't just get overrun before you can set up your chains and combos and stuff. So fair enough. Fair enough to finally find the bad matchup, and we are now 4-2 heading into round 7. Here we are for round 7 with another beautiful start. The hard evidence into Lonis Curve. Into a 3-drop creature to investigate again. This is the... Ooh, okay. Now... I think I'm going to Wormlet next turn, but I think I still play Lonis first. We'll play Provisioner turn 4, hopefully alongside a 4th land, so we can guarantee it. Oh my god. Huh. I can't play both of these because I only have 1 green source. I could play Steel Seeker and Hard Evidence. I feel like I play Wormlet first to make sure I get a +1/+1 counter every turn. Yeah, sorry, Steel Seeker. I could crack a clue instead of Hard Evidence. I actually don't hate that, because Wormlet's not going to get another +1/+1 counter for the next artifact this turn anyway, and it's more mana efficient. And if they don't kill Cryptozoologist, like right now, we're going to have so many clues that we're going to be so far ahead anyway. And we're going to get so much Wormlet life gain that honestly I think we can outrace a 5/5 flyer. That's a real fast 5/5 flyer thanks to Tezzerat's touch, but I think I'm still happier to be in my position than my opponents here. Because of the insane cards, especially drawing into Illuminator. Okay, so we didn't hit the land for Provisioner, but we can go Illuminator and Hard Evidence and have 3 clues right now. Gain a ton of life. And then the turn that I play Fleeting Memories, I can just immediately mill them like 15 cards. Which isn't going to be enough to mill them out, but it's going to be big. You know what? Send a message. Get in there, Crab. Yeah, I love that I got the first hit, too. The little crab love tap. Just get in there. Pinch them. Punish them for their 5/5 flyer. Scrapbook Cohort. Alright, there's some blockers on the ground, but little do they know, we are setting up for a combo mill kill. So we're going to get 2 Steel Seeker triggers here. We want to mill anything that isn't a land. Basically. Okay, we hit the land. Definitely needed that. Hit another land, needed that too. Okay, so 6 times 3 is 18 mil right now if we play Fleeting Memories. No longer reasonable attacks on the ground, and I really don't want to lose Illuminators, so we're not holding that back as a blocker. We just poke them for 1. Okay, so 6 clues. We play Fleeting Memories. That's 7, 8 clues. I could play Provisioner in the same turn thanks to the treasure token. I can go Provisioner first, get 2 clues. That's 8. Fleeting Memories is a 9th clue. 9 times 3 is 27. They have 28 cards in deck. If they draw 1 card here, in some way... Yes, by drawing a card and discarding a card? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yes, please. So they draw a card, discard a card. Now that's 27 cards. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad if they counterspell. They don't have a blue up though, so they're probably not gonna counterspell. Oh baby. Lonus Fleeting Memory strikes again? Question mark? They're tapped out, and they're drawing another card. 26 in their deck? Oh, get ready. Oh, get ready. Your body cannot possibly be ready for what's about to happen to you, opponent. Here we go. 8 clues. Sure. 9th clue. Well, this isn't 9th clue. This is the treasure for Fleeting Memories, and then Fleeting Memories is the 9th clue. 9th clue. Sack 9 clues. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Why do I have to click them all? Mill the deck! Mill the deck! Yes! Oh, I have to click them all again. Oh, there's a concession. This is the greatest day of my life. Oh, baby. Remix artifact drafts are something else. They are something else. We are 5-2, officially in the money with this pile. We could resign right here and I would be a super happy camper, but I guess we get to play with this spicy brew a bit more. Let's head into round number 8. Oh, he can't keep getting away with it. He can't keep getting away with it. We're keeping this. This is the snappest of keeps. Really want to draw lands? That could be a flaw. We could get mana screwed on this one. But if we draw like 3 lands in a row, we are just going absolutely insane. If we draw a single land, we've got the hookup. We can work our way towards a victory from there. But if we don't have to work to get the lands, if we just draw them naturally, this is going to be disgusting. Okay, looks like we might have to work for them. I think I still play Lonus. Well, if I don't hit a 3rd mana, Lonus isn't going to trigger next turn anyway, and I'm setting her up to get killed. I'm going to gamble on it still. I'm just going to play her here, so that if I do immediately hit the land, I get to go creature, trigger Lonus immediately here. Uh-oh, black deck. Alright, they didn't kill Lonus. And we hit the land. And we hit the land. That's what we call a wombo combo right there. Alright, opponent cracks a clue. Plays land for turn. Passes. Okay, no extra land here. Simulacrum seems decent, right? Let's get Lonus a little out of reach of, like, if they play a Perilous Mirror or something. And get some immediate damage in. Alright, they're down to 14. I would actually maybe be mildly disappointed if we had, like, all the really good engines set up this game, and then we ended up winning with combat damage. But, I mean, I guess we'll take it if our opponent can't establish blocks here. Lonis is definitely going to die at some point in this game. She is not going to combo kill with Fleeting Memories anytime soon. We're playing against a black deck, so they will throw Removal at her eventually, but we've already gotten 3 clue tokens out of her, so we're doing great. Or no, we got 2 clue tokens out of her. That is 3 for 1, though. Get rid of a removal spell from our opponent and draw 2 cards off 2 clues. That's beautiful. Yeah. Let's just put that on the board, so every time we're getting the clues, we're gaining life. And... and buffing the Wormlet. Alright, here's the trump from the Sire. I will crack a clue, even though I have a Fleeting Memories, just so we can see if we can get land for turn, because that would be a big deal. We do not. Thought Monitor for only 4 mana is pretty good. There's a green source for their own Wormlet, nice stuff. It's got Death Touch too, because they've got enough artifacts over there. Well, they're starting to get stable, which normally you would be like, oh no, but I'm kind of like, ooh, they're getting stable. We can try to mill win. I'm pretty choked on mana here. I'm actually going to take the treasure over the food right now. Although I don't think I'm going to use it this turn. I just want to have it available. I mean, I could definitely send Simulacrum and my own Wormlet in. I don't really like those attacks that much, though. I kind of... if I can get a +1/+1 counter on this Simulacrum, that would actually be pretty good. So let's try Map Token on Simulacrum. See if it's a non-land on top. It's a non-land on top, and it's a 1 mana... 1 mana 2/2 flyer draw 2. We take those. Now Simulacrum's attack is great, but nobody else's is, because they're actually valuable engines. Yep, clear the 2/2 flyer out of here. Sounds good to me. And we spend our last couple mana on the Trail of Crumbs. Or I could spend 3 on the Fleeting Memories, but I don't want to cast the Scavenger without getting a food out of it. So I don't want to do that there. That could be greedy, though. Our opponent's at 11. Maybe it'd be worth it just to get the damage on board. Alright, opponent cracks a clue. I just read our opponent's username. They do not like Ravnica Allegiance. Can I get a clue at instant speed here? Number an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, gain a life. It's the first time. Okay, if I cracked a bunch of clues and found an artifact out of their deck, I might be able to save Wormlet, but I'm saving these for something. I'm saving these. We're saving up. Here's our 1 mana 2/2 flyer draw 2. Actually, 1 mana 2/2 flyer draw 3, because the clue token for more draw later. I am once again asking for your financial support. Thank you, Tireless Provisioner. Now let's Witch Stalker. That's clue number 6. I could send in the 1/1 flyer. They have... whoa! They're on like a 60 card deck. They're on the anti-Fleeting Memories build? This is not fair. Actually just not allowed. They have 38 cards left still. That's unfortunate. And I'm getting close to being able to mill them 30, which would mill any other deck by now, but I think they're playing 60 cards. They have 38 in there, 2 engraved, that's 40 right there. 41, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they're playing 54 cards? Not quite 60. Well, I've got all day. We just need to get 13 clues. which is very possible over time. Second tireless provisioner. Every land gives us 2 treasures now. Do I do a Trail of Crumbs dig here? I kind of think I do a Trail of Crumbs dig here. To see if I can hit land for turn. We can. We can indeed. Boom. Treasure, treasure. And get the food. We are just full value town. The really weird thing is, like, if they end up killing our Lonus, it's entirely possible that they could get us in a position where if I tried to kill them with fleeting memories, I would just mill myself with my clues before I'd mill them, even though each clue would draw me 1 card and mill them 3. Their deck is going to be so big, and I'm going to have drawn so many cards off of stuff like Trail of Crumbs, that it's possible that we mill out before them, even at a 1 to 3 rate. We'll see. Another land looks great. We need to crack Trail of Crumbs again, look for something to do. Although I could Simulacrum here. That's something perfectly fine to do. That's going to give us a clue token, and it's going to speed up the clock in the sky, which looks like how we're winning right now. Buff the Siren. So we got a 2/2 flyer and a 3/3 flyer. I guess if I buff the Thought Monitor, since their main removal we know about right now is Skull Bomb, if they want to get rid of the +1/+1 counters, they're bouncing our card that lets us draw 2. The Simulacrum actually attacks great here. We're at 28. Whatever. Trade into a Death Toucher, Witch Stalker. Send on in. You're not one of our value engines like our Double Provisioner or our Cryptozoologist. I don't know exactly what we're looking for, but we have so many clues right now, like Bigfoot should have been discovered by now. I don't know what's going on with the Cryptozoologist, honestly. What the lore is there. They're down to 3? Am I going to win with combat damage? Be boring. Treasure. Again, I'm just going to keep getting treasures because if I need to draw cards, I have 8 clues, so I don't need to get full Trail of Crumbs food card draw value. And with all the treasures, I can play Hollow Scavenger and get another clue. What are their, like, million cards in hand? Gotta be a board wipe in there. Hopefully. No. No, hopefully not. I was gonna say hopefully so I can actually go for the Fleeting Memories kill, but then Lonus dies in the board wipe, so hopefully not. Wicked Wolf? Okay, that kills 1 card. They can make it a 4/4 indestructible, kill whatever they want. So they kill the 3/3 flyer, probably. Don't kill Lonus. Don't do it. Don't kill Lonus. Don't you dare. 33 cards in their deck? No, how could you? Genuinely, how could you? You're gonna make me kill you with combat damage. Man. They have 3 mana up. Alright. Well, I guess we're killing you with combat damage. I doubt you have anything that costs more than 7, so let's get your biggest creature and kill you with it. You did this to yourself. I just wanted to fleet your memories. Oh my god, Tough Cookie. I have decided I'm still killing you with the clues. Just in an even ruder way now. Alright, they can see. We don't even get to be rude. We've got a ton of treasure tokens, so I was gonna animate all the clues and still win a different way with the clues. Alright, well, Lonus is busted. Trail of Crumbs is busted. Tireless Provisioner is busted. We are fully in Value Town, both in all of the gameplay and in the draft as a whole. We are getting 1,800 gems and 5 packs no matter what. This has been an incredible draft, and we're leaving with tons of value no matter what. But we have made it all the way to the final battle. This is going to be the last game of Magic for today. Win or lose, this is going to decide it all. Will we get another 7-win trophy run, or will we fall just short at 6-3, which is still a good place to be? We'll see how it all wraps up as we head into the final boss. All right, here we are in the final battle, win or lose. I don't think we can keep the mono green opener. Wormlet into Steelseeker could be good, but we have got to hit the right mana from here. It's got to be a blue source quick or 2 lands to get to Witchstalker. I mean, on the draw, I guess we could keep it. A lot of risk in this. I'm going to take the mulligan. This looks better. This looks great, in fact. If this were a 7-card hand, it would be beautiful. I don't actually know what we get rid of. Simulacrum is immediately a big deal. Cryptozoologist is insane over the course of the game. Wormlet's insane over the course of the game, and Provisioner's insane over the course of the game. Let's go grindy here. Let's get rid of the Simulacrum. Full grind it out. There's land 4. Let's slow down to guarantee Wormlet gets counters. We'll play the Wormlet on 3 after we have a Cryptozoologist on board. Then we'll play a Provisioner on turn 4 when I know I can immediately play a land alongside it and get at least 1 trigger. I guess to play around removal, we could also just play Lonus turn 3 in the same turn we're playing the Wormlet, so we can guarantee a trigger on both Cryptozoologist and Wormlet, and then also guarantee a Provisioner's trigger. This might not be a good matchup to to play slow to guarantee extra triggers, though, because they already have a 2/2 flyer, and they've got a 3/2 flyer coming up that expands the board. Okay, Steelseeker. That is kind of the perfect draw. If they don't immediately kill Cryptozoologist, that means next turn, Wormlet plus Steelseeker is a great couple plays. I have Malcator, that doesn't kill anything. Let's go. We're taking a lot of damage quick, though, and that is how we lost our second loss. Was just a really aggressive deck, and this is looking real aggressive, because the Eye of Malcator animates as a 4/4 whenever they play an artifact, which is pretty easy for them. We know they're playing one next turn, just the Gnome token from the Cloud Guard. And everything's flying as well, so we're not going to have good blocks set up. Yeah, we could just take too much damage here in the sky too quickly. Even with all the great value set up for a long game, this may not be a long game at this rate. We'll at least have a death-touching Wormlet very soon to trade into the Eye. There's the fleeting memories. So we need to do everything in our power to make this game last as long as possible. So Wormlet only triggers off the first artifact of the turn. It's going to gain life each time, but it only gets the +1/+1 counter off the first artifact, whereas Steelseeker triggers off every single one. I'm going to mill Hard Evidence. We're looking for ways to gain more life and block flyers. Yeah, I mean, it's a food, but I can get food from Provisioner. Just milling to Steelseeker again, I think. Could crack our clues to Cryptozoologist, looking for a flyer out of their deck. Probably not with only 2 clues, but maybe later. I guess Cryptozoologist is at slightly more risk by being tapped, because there is the uncommon deal 5 to a tapped creature. But since we're definitely not blocking with her anyway, probably worth the 1 damage. Okay, Provisioner value time. Again, like infinite clue value. So we get treasure. Well, no, food to preserve our life total would be a big deal. Sure. Another land. Another land. Well, we're digging through all the lands, so that's nice. If 30 cards left, if we can get to 10 clues before they can kill us, we can try to loan a skill. Probably 9, because it's going to take a few turns to get to that many clues anyway, which means a few more draw steps for our opponent. I'm taking 5 in the sky a turn, but I can gain like 4 a turn. I just play a land, get a food, eat the food. Getting the food gains 1 off of Wormlet, eating the food gains 3. So I can stop most of the flying damage if we can keep Wormlet on board. Which means in order to keep Wormlet on board, we have to take another Malcator hit, which means taking 9 instead of 5, which is not good. Uh-oh. Okay, that is significantly more damage. Bone Splitter for +2/+0. Also triggering the Eye of Malcator. Yeah, we may have to Wormlet into the Eye. Even though it means less life gain on our board. I think Wormlet is gaining the equivalent of 4 life a turn. Oh my god, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 here? I would be at 5 life. I can make another food and eat both. So 5 goes up to 6. I eat 2 food for another 6, I go to 12, taking 7 in the sky. Guess I could let it on all in, like barely. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to get a blocker off of Lonus next turn with a Fleeting Memories on board. That's my plan now. I think. No, Wanderer's Strike. Probably kill Lonus. Ooh. If I play anything instead of just a land, I'll only have 2 mana up, so I can only eat 1 food. But I'll get another artifact on board, which puts me to 6. I eat the food, which puts me to 9. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the sky. I can barely survive in the sky no matter what. And then we can trump on the ground. So I can play anything here. So I can Fleeting Memories to make sure I am milling and I'm digging farther with the Lonus sack. Let's go for it. Sure, Witch Stalker. Hopefully he'll be good enough. I don't think the treasure does anything for me right now. Alright, they're probably Wander Striking Lonus, which is really disappointing. But maybe they'll choose Wormlet. Maybe they'll choose Wormlet. We have this tiniest chance in the universe of grinding things out with Fleeting Memories. Arcanasal. Oh, they're not killing anything? Let's go. Let's go. Find a Mandible Justice here. Okay, that doesn't change much. If I can find an artifact threat from them and make the Wormlet a 5/5 here, that's such a big deal. Let's mill 12, pick up their best 4 mana value or less permanent. Come on, Chrome Courier style artifact flyer. Unctus? Oh, it's something? Oh, it is an artifact, so I gain the life and have a 5/5 blocker. Yes! They have 12 cards left. I have 1 clue. Kill the Eye of Malcator for free. We're gonna gain more life, get more food. Next turn. Cryptozoologist again. Five. Let's see, they've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in the sky. I'm at 5. I can get a treasure and a food and gain 4 life, or gain 4, gain 6. Puts me at 11, 12 because I'm getting another artifact on board. So treasure plus food is the play here. And we are at 7, but we can gain 6. So we're at functionally a lot. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I survive another swing at 13, and I mill them 6 more cards. They have 6 cards left in deck here, but they get to exile the Lonus, and we have to draw into something that investigates to get there. We've got, like, a chance. Their only ground attacker is a 1/1 now, so it kind of feels like our best chance at this point is counterattacks. Like so. Still have 3 blockers on the ground if I send Unctus in. Draw a card, discard a card off this. It's probably worth it for the draw discard. Oh, it doesn't? Oh, that's only other blue creatures. Well, never mind. That wasn't where they just bounce the owl off of it. But, I mean, it's extra damage if they want to trade into the Provisioner here. Okay, it's extra damage if they don't block also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 actually, because they proliferate. But we're at 13. We're at exactly enough to not die on the next swing. And if they tap out, then they're down on the crackback. And if they don't kill Lonus, then we are probably milling them. We need to find 1 more creature to mill them. 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mill 6. Look for something out of the top 2. Probably not hitting something. But we do draw a card, discard a card thanks to Unctus. Yeah, 2 recommissions. Oh my god, they have 2 recommissions left and I milled them so much? Sketchy. Alright, we'll go to 1. They're at 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13 if I make all 3 of those blue. Oh wait, artifact creatures you control get +1, +1. Oh, I can also Erdwall Illuminator though, and you all know I cannot resist milling them when that's an option, so we'll just do that route. They have 5 cards left. Mill them all. Mill them all. One, two, three, four, five, 6. Is that all 7 being milled? No, last round was combat damage. That was 6 mill victories, I think? What a draft. A 7-win run off of Lonus Fleeting Memories combo. Some pretty lucky matchups. If we ran into some more decks with efficient removal or some decks that were more aggressive, we could have gotten trounced, but they were some hard-fought games, and a lot of those, like that last game, our opponent was still pretty aggressive. We had to assemble some absolute combos, some value engines, a lot of life gain to drag that one out, but we got there. Never got to have 2 fleeting memories on board to mill 6 per clue, but this was an awesome draft. This was a really fun, really powerful archetype. A lot of that was thanks to Lonus being able to crack so many clues at once when we have fleeting memories on board. The game where we got to didn't even know we were milling, we got to play a fleeting memories at the last second, mill 27 in like one swing. That was a highlight for me. That was absolutely incredible. But everything we did today was really fun. A lot of these cards got to shine. Provisioner was constantly great. Trail of Crumbs was constantly great. Obviously, Lonus was awesome. Teething Wormlet was a big, heavy hitter there. Thought Monitor we got to cast for like 1 mana in one of those games, which was sweet. Simulacrum was constantly hitting the board, helping give us the power toughness we need to grind out the game a little longer. I think the only thing we didn't really get to cast and do anything with was Epic Confrontation. We milled it once. I don't think we ever drew it. So, sad day for Epic Confrontation, but I think literally everyone else in the deck showed up at least once, and the key players, like Provisioner, Cryptozoologist, and Trail of Crumbs, Steel Seeker as well, were just incredible. That was a super sweet, super fun, super different deck yet again, and I'm absolutely loving the Artifact Remix drafts. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video and are interested in seeing more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.